Good morning everyone, and welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog, where we discuss all things entrepreneurship and running. It is a snowy December morning. It's about -3 out here. I would say it's not too windy, so it's quite fun running it today, but it is not. My feet in these Vibrams are absolutely frozen. I can't even feel them now. So yeah, it's Friday Funnels today, which is where we talk all things marketing. And today's topic is an important one. It's how can we, I'm just going through a ridiculous puddle. Oh, see if I can get around this. Is how we can, oh God, this is horrible. How do we attract the attention of our customer? How do we bait them in? Is what I'm talking about today. So as always, if you think this content's good, please remember to give this channel a subscribe. So, what do I mean by how do we bait our customer? Bait is a little bit of a strong word. It makes us kind of put people into the same analogy as fish. But ultimately, I suppose that's a good analogy. How you got to do it. You're fishing. Okay, so what we're talking about today is that this is stage 3 of what we were talking about. How you kind of market to your target demographic. We've talked about stage 1, which is who is your target market. It's pretty important. Number 2 was where does your target market hang out. So let's assume you know these two things now. So you know the places you're going to target them, you know who you're going to target. Okay, so that's really important. Now 3 is how do you get their attention. Okay, so this is massively important, and so many people do this well and so many people do it not so well. Now I'm certainly no marketing expert. We've done a few funnels in our time, and our latest one was a webinar funnel whereby purely organic we managed to get 475 registrations for our webinar, 155 attend, and we've had just shy of 100 buy our product. Now the conversion rate was so high because our offer was £1 purchase, which then rolls onto a £50 a month subscription. So I think there will be some drop off on that, but I think that we did that really well. And I think what we did particularly well was catching people's attention. So what you want to try and think of it is, if you think of your Facebook feed, for example, or any of your social channels, people are just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. So what can you do to make whatever you're talking about stand out, jump out? Look at my Runpreneur vlog. Okay, it's a bit more branding focused, but the orange is such an identifiable colour that people will, if they're interested in my stuff, they don't have to scroll too far to find it, because there ain't too many bright orange runners that run in the snow pretty much in barefoot. I can't even feel my feet, I'm not going to lie. It feels literally like I haven't got any feet. But anyway, so the point of the matter is that people, the orange can obviously catch people's eye and stop them. Now obviously I've done it for so long now that impact has been diluted, but when you're trying to capture your target market's attention, you want to think about what's going to stop them, what's going to make them think, oh, I'll have a look at that. So there's lots of things you can do here, and again, there's no one size fits all. In fact, it's going to be very, very bespoke to who you're targeting, where they're hanging out, what your offering is. So going through this journey of understanding who they are, where they are, you hopefully know a little bit more about them, and you hopefully know what will engage them. For example, if you're targeting kind of 16-year-olds, you might do a silly dance or something, because they're probably more likely to stop and look at that. If you're targeting somebody who's 50, that probably isn't going to have the same desired effect. You might get the odd 50-year-old, but on the whole, it wouldn't. But if you went through exercise 1, where we talked about who is your target demographic, then and you should go into that level of detail about their circumstances, their personality, their behaviours, you will know who that person is in your mind. So you will know what would make that person stop. Okay, so and stop in the tracks and take note of what you're offering. So the other thing you have to consider here, this is all good and well of how you stop them, but you've got to have the content to stop them as well, not just the impact, but the actual content. So, you know, you're hooking people. I mean, Russell Brunson's someone I follow very, very closely in terms of marketing strategies and funnel building. I think he's the head honcho. He always explains the importance of hook, story, offer. And hook is how do you stop that person in their tracks so they can actually look at what you're telling. Story is the storytelling aspect of what that is, so you're giving the information in a storytelling way. And then offer is the irresistible offer, which makes them want to click the call to action or take action on whatever you're asking them to do. And there should always be a call to action, ideally, in every content. I mean, you'll probably notice in all of my content now, it's changed now that I'm focusing more on YouTube. But previously, I would always ask people to follow my social channels or whatever. And the more specific you are, the better. I now predominantly ask people to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you'll notice at the beginning, in my intro, and at the end in my outro, I'll be asking people to click the subscribe button, because that's what I'm looking to do, drive subscriptions. So call to action is really important, and that kind of links into how good the offer is. So hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview of what's required, but just test and tweak things here. I mean, you can do, depending on your demographic, you can do some humorous, entertaining stuff to try and capture people's attention. You can do some very informative stuff. The only thing is with the informative stuff, oh, it's cold. With the informative stuff, you'd want to have some kind of headline which stops people. So if information is really good but the headline is useless, then people aren't stopping. So, I mean, generally speaking, if you're breaking hook, story, offer down, hook is the headline or the first thing they see. Story is the actual body of the content, and offer is the click call to action, make a comment, like it or whatever. And test and measure stuff here, because the market is pretty brutal, and it will tell you if your content's any good or not, and it will tell you if people are watching it, it will tell you with the number of views, it will tell you lots of things about a piece of content. And then once you've done it over a period of time, you'll see the type of stuff that your target market are engaging with, and you'll see the stuff which is just nothing's happening. And I think that's the beauty of marketing, is you've got the ability to capture data, test, measure, iterate, and then repeat. And that's really, really important to kind of understand that. So what we did in our webinar funnel, well, our target market for our webinar funnel was the kind of lower age demographic. Now, we did get quite a few older people on as well. Well, older people, it's the wrong word, but our target demographic was predominantly kind of 16 to 25 year olds, possibly 18 to 25 year olds, because these are people that are very hungry. There's a lot of entrepreneurial people in those younger generations, and just because they haven't got the money, they feel they can't start. And our objective was to, I'm just going to wipe my camera lens. Our objective was to, our tagline ultimately is build your property empire with little or no money. And the 2 Squared Academy that we've launched, the objective is for people to replace their income with property income within 12 months. And our guarantee is, if you haven't achieved that, we'll continue working with you for free until you have. So it's a pretty bold statement, but we're confident in what we teach, that if people take action, we can get them there, which is really, really important. So there's some pretty bold transformational statements there. Build your property empire with little or no money. There is also, replace your income with property income within 12 months. I mean, those two lines alone are eye-catching headlines that if somebody's there that wants to get into property and they see a so-called property expert saying that, they're probably going to stop. And if Jack, my business partner, he probably appeals slightly more to the younger demographic, although he's 30 now, I might add, but he does appeal to the younger demographic a bit more than I would. When he's saying that, someone who people can kind of resonate a bit more with, then they're stopping and seeing that, so they're being hooked and they're looking at that, and then they're listening to his content. He does a lot of sharp, snappy stuff on TikTok. A lot of his followers are on Instagram and TikTok. Not so much Facebook. Facebook, bizarrely, you get a slightly older demographic now. I remember when Facebook first came out, and so that's giving my age away. But anyway, it's so he's getting a lot of feedback, response, comments from his posts and stuff on there. But the beauty of TikTok and Instagram is normally short form content, and anything he did longer form, he'd sync up with his Facebook stories that would feed across to his Facebook anyway. So he was getting a lot of engagement because it was sharp, snappy, straight to the point, clear call to action, and that worked really, really well. I mean, I've done webinars before in previous businesses also, and I think the most we managed to get was about 60 odd people register, and maybe 35 people 35 people or so actually attend. So you know, we've now got this model that we can just replicate and rinse and repeat because it clearly works with the demographic. And this is not, we did no paid advertising for this. So once you get this right and you've got the confidence, switch on your paid advertising and you should get, you know, a multiplier of the results that you've had by testing on your organic demographic or organic traffic. I can't speak, I'm so cold. So if I was going to summarise then this episode, how would I do it? Well, one is understand hook, story, offer. Hook is the headline, it's the first thing they see. Story is the information or the body of the content, and offer is the offer which is going to make them take action or take the call to action, which is really, really important. Number two, this only really works when you know A, your target demographic, and B, where they hang out. Super, super important to understand these things, because otherwise you're casting your net too wide and you're not gonna get many bites. If you're very, very focused, you get a much higher success rate. Number three, think about the kind of transformational statement that you're going to be making. That's a brilliant way of baiting people. So the two things that we used was build your property empire with little or no money. You know, a lot of people haven't got money. A lot of people want to have a career in property. And the second one was replace your income with property income within 12 months. Both are massive transformational statements. And just going past this big van here. And by saying those things, we were getting huge engagement. And but don't just say things for the sake of it. That's another point, because if you just say things and then it's completely irrelevant to what you're teaching, like you know, click here for 10 gold bars or something, then clearly that's not, you're not really going to give anybody 10 gold bars. So that would be kind of false advertising, and you probably alienate your demographic rather than engage with them. So yeah, it has to be relevant. I'm just going to turn around here. My feet are so cold, it's unbelievable. But anyway, so I hope you found that useful. The three things again, just to re-emphasise, is one, understand what hook, story, offer is. Number two, know who your target market is, and also understand where they hang out to make sure you're being targeted in your marketing efforts. And three, think about the transformational statement, which is going to be a really cool hook to get people's attention. And if your offer is good enough, then you should get pretty high conversion rates. So just to add on that is our offer on our webinar funnel was the free webinar training, where we were going to unearth our kind of 2 squared strategy, which also makes it memorable as a brand, but it was free training that we were using for people to register for, and but overall that was super successful. So hope this has been useful as always. If you like this content, please give it a subscribe. If this isn't relevant to you, absolutely no problem at all, just unfollow me. Oh, it's driving in my face now. My face is getting really cold. Just unfollow me and it'll stop cluttering up your social feeds. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because all of these episodes are nicely catalogued by playlist topic, and you can dip in and out of it as a free ad hoc resource, and hopefully it'll be useful for you at some point in the future. Make sure you're also a member of the Facebook group Runpreneur, where I'll be hosting all of my free resources for the vlog as well, so don't miss out on those. And all that's left to say is that the Runpreneur vlog was set up to, so cold, the wind chill factor on my face is brutal. All that's left to say is that the Runpreneur vlog was set up to help entrepreneurs, business owners overcome the emotions of stress, anxiety and overwhelm by using exercise, or in my case running, as a mechanism to control, manage and thrive under these conditions that every single entrepreneur and business owner will be experiencing. And it can often be the difference between the ones that manage their emotions more effectively to how successful you'll be. And if you get it wrong, one of two things can usually happen. Pressure builds up and either the entrepreneur or the business owner breaks, either of which is often terminal to the likelihood of your business lasting the test of time. Now, I've been there. I've lost businesses because of this. I've been rock bottom. It's a horrible, horrible place, and so horrible I set out to do this vlog to try and help others avoid that trap. And my pledge to you is that I've got more on my plate than I've ever had, but using exercise and this process that I do every day, I process everything that's going on in my life. I get much more clarity, and I've got a much clearer plan of action on how to kind of thrive under these conditions than sink, and that's really important. So my offer to you is, this is no sale, no underlying reason for this whatsoever, other than I just purely want to help. There's no email captures, no nothing here. It's just, if you are one of these people and you're struggling, and you're struggling with the entrepreneurial pride, or you're too proud to talk to anybody about this stuff, and you'd rather speak to a stranger, just drop me a line and we'll jump on a call. I've had entrepreneurs do this already, and hopefully they're implementing some key steps into their lives as we speak, so the better. Drop me a line, we'll jump on a call, and I'll see if I can give you some nice and easy implementable steps that I've learnt along the way that have made a monumental difference in my life. So that's pretty much it. Remember, if you like this video, please remember to give this video a like and a subscribe. That would be amazing. And also don't forget to join the Facebook group where the free resources are. If you want to see more of this content, please click the playlist button below. And all that's left to say is stay positive, stay happy, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.